Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry upper deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has been the place to shop for your industrial needs for over 20 years. Carrying the tools you need to get the job done from the brands you can trust, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has you covered. Brands like Milwaukee Tool, established in 1924 and on display in our Milwaukee Red Zone, the largest red zone in Winnipeg. With construction workers and tradespeople in mind, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools is your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. So come on down to our Winnipeg store location today, located on 1557 King Edward Street in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Good evening, Manitoba Female Hockey League fans, and to what is the final game of the 2024-2025 MFHL regular and postseason. The postseason ending tonight, no matter what, as we've gone down to the wire. To Game 5, all the marbles on the line here in Niverville, CRRC. This matchup set between the top-seeded Eastman Selects and the second-seeded Winnipeg Avros on your home for MFHL Hockey on G-Show Productions on gshow.ca. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator for tonight's action as I have been all season long, Graham the G-Show Forsyth. If you've been joining us all season long, we're down to the final game no matter what, of course, in this best-of-5 championship series. The Eastman Selects started off with the 2-0 series lead, but since then it's been the Winnipeg Avros with back-to-back shutout wins, riding off of their goaltender's performance and Adriana Almeida with her first 2 shutouts of the postseason. Some big-time performances from players like Rio Pierre, Liberty Amy, Callie Lavalley, Adeline Nolgren stepping up last game as well, has gotten the Avros to this point to where they could accomplish something that I think hasn't been done before in this league, coming back to win in the championship series. The last 3 series, actually last 4 final series that have been played have been sweeps. This one with a bit of a different tune, and for the Avros, fighting for their lives in this season in 2025 in the playoffs back on Tuesday as they extended it out to Tuesday night's Game 4 this past week after pushing it to Game 4 with the win on Sunday 2-0. Game number 4 with very much of the same result. As we start off in the first period, the Avros on a power play, sending this on net as Lavalley and putting home the trash as former select in Adeline Nolgren to put the Avros up 1-0. And the Avros starting off with a lead in that game. 3 out of the 4 times in the series they've opened up with the lead. The Selects, though, later on in the second period, jamming away at this puck, but Adriana Almeida, she has been all series long, really all playoffs long, coming up huge.
14 saves made so far, 14 shots against. Draw won by the Avros. As Callie Lavely looking to work some magic. Chips it to herself. Lavely, that shot blocked up by Eastman player's stick on the way through. That shot in, scores! Lavely, the one to put it home.
And for Callie Lavely, her second point of that matchup, the goal to put the insurance marker in for the Winnipeg Avros, who get by after giving up a whole lot of shots in that Game 4 win, but doesn't matter. They're through here to a Game 5, forcing it, dragging the series all the way back to Niverville here tonight, as it's the 6th straight final, by the way, to feature a Winnipeg team, especially if you count 2019-2020, as both the Avros and Ice were named co-champions that year, making it to the finals. For the Avros, they're looking for their first ever championship. For the Selects, they're looking for their second. It's been 3 days off since Game 4, so the Selects and the Avros have had a bit more time to rest. Now, these are all kids at the end of the day, so does rest really matter? I don't know. I think that maybe the nerves have built up between these teams with all the waiting. Potentially we'll see how the start of this game ends up starting off. I could see it being sloppy, but for the Selects, they're looking to cap off what has been their best season in franchise history, in this program's history, in this winner-take-all matchup here tonight on MFHL Playoff Game Day. As for, we'll start off with the Winnipeg Avros, actually. Survival. They've been surviving, well, ever since the semifinals. They've played in 4 elimination games since the semifinals now, with 2 against the Ice and, of course, 2 against the Selects, being down 2-0 here. And they've made a lot of sacrifices, playing a lot of selfless hockey, a lot of block shots, as many saves as Almeida made in game number 4. Her teammates making it easy at times for her with getting into lanes, blocking shots, and forcing shots from outside, from the perimeter. For the Avros, though, can you keep up this defensive effort, and can Almeida carry her play into what has been just a sensational run for this Avros superstar goaltender? The best performance I've ever seen from a goaltender in this league from my time in covering it. And can the Avros continue to be opportunistic and pounce on their chances in a series where they've been outshot in every single game? As for the Avros as well, it would not only be their first championship in franchise history, and they not only complete a 2-0 comeback deficit to win 3 straight, but Ashley Van Aglen would make history by becoming the first ever female head coach in this league to hoist an MFHL championship. As for the Eastman Selects, though, they're looking to cap off what's been their best regular season in franchise history by the numbers, with a banner, 27 regular season wins. They were 8-0 up until the Winnipeg Avros ended that undefeated streak in the playoffs back in game number 3. They've lost 2 straight. They've had a taste of their own medicine. They shut out the Avros twice during the regular season, once in this finals as well. And now the Avros have done it twice to them in back-to-back games. They've had some time to reflect, though, 3 days off instead of just 1 between games. And I think it's important for Eastman to remember to just breathe, remember how good you are, and remember what's gotten you to this point, a relentless attack, and being able to find ways to expose teams in the defensive end. But the Avros have seemed to have found the recipe. And for Ashley Van Aglen, it's been a legacy run for this Avros squad that could potentially end with a banner this season, which would be a first in the Avros history. As for Leila Luke and this Eastman Selects coaching staff, hoping to guide this Eastman squad to one more win. Winner moves on to Saskatchewan to represent Manitoba as the representative from Manitoba in the West Regional Series in the road to the Esso Cup. Thank you so much for being here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, MFHL fans. We crown a new MFHL champion tonight. Immortality on the line for both of these teams. You're watching MFHL Playoff Game Day on your home for MFHL Hockey on gshow Productions on gshow.ca. Enjoy the game, everybody.
It's absolutely packed in the CRC here tonight, or the CRRC as I should say, live from Niverville, Manitoba, on the final edition of MFHL Playoff Game Day and MFHL Game Day in general this season. That's the top two teams going down to the wire to Game 5. Can the Avros complete the 2-0 comeback and take home their first championship in MFHL history for this program? Or will it be the Eastman Selects who right the wrongs, shut out in their past two games, but with another chance to end it tonight to punch their ticket into Saskatchewan to battle the winner from that AAA league in the West Regionals as the road to the Esso Cup continues here tonight. We'll continue along it. Will it be the Selects? Will it be the Avros? Tomes in net tonight for the Selects. She's back in the lineup. Almeida in the net for the Avros. What else would you expect as we're officially underway here? Oh, chance early on. Leveling off, but Tomes it in. The Avros open the score to 10 seconds. Going off the clock. An unlucky break for Tomes. Fortunate bounce for Levely. She remains hot. That goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for this first period of action. Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store, the Avros, with a quick start. Traffic towards the net right away to Lavely, who recovers this puck in an instant, puts it in the back of the net, using an angle off of Tomes' pad as Tomes, she's had a bit of time off herself, dealing with an illness from what I heard from the coaching staff. As she should officially be awake in this game now. Been one of the most technically sound goaltenders in the league all season long. You could argue the top goaltender in the league. Very well could make that argument when she was healthy. Her and Labossiere combined for 13 shutouts this season in, well, by the statistics, from what I've seen, the best defensive season in MFHL history in a very long time for a team in Eastman. They got to buckle down now, though. 18:55 remaining. Lots of time left. Relax and play your game for the Avros. They'll look to do the same, as they'll look to continue to push the envelope here. That over the stick of Liberty Amy. Caitlin Schroeder gets cut off in the neutral zone. Played in by Dixon now, but that cut off right away in the Avros end by Cunningham. Chipped out by Dinez, right on it. Schroeder. Good back pressure from the Select team early. Blowing a tire at the Avros blue line is Select captain, and Dixon played off the boards into the Select zone and all the way back down into the Avros end, now off the boards through the neutral zone. Back down into the Eastman end as both teams play catch with the puck here early. Now Isabella Carrier just sends this in for Eastman. Their fourth time out of five games now in this series. This is game 5, being down 1-0 to start off. And game number 1 they were down and came back, scored 2 unanswered goals. Those goals all came in the third period. This flipped into neutral ice now. Picked off by Eastman. Delaney Rigaud tried to make her way in, but delayed offside. Eastman touches back and gets back in right away, trying to attack here. But the Avros able to exit. Cross ice feed off the stick of Haggart, now picked up by Remillard, who gets cornered out off of the boards, rubbed out there off the puck as this played into the possession of Beavis. Off the boards up to Remillard as Remillard has her pocket picked by Turner now. Tries to dangle past Beavis, but a great play from number 7 to shut that down as Rigaud tries to chip this up the boards, but the Avros having none of that. They get that back in. It's Lavely. The goal scorer in this game goes just wide of the net as Nolgren, first one on it. Beats Beavis out to Lavely. Back to the point now. Lavely goes to Turner. DDD to Shortridge. Towards the net. That deflected but not through as it's blocked by Callie Remillard. Played up to Heidinger now as Sophia Heidinger makes her way into the Avro zone. That shot blocked up by Shortridge, but Heidinger gets it back. Backhand pickpocketed now by Shortridge as it's intercepted and cleared out by number 18. Blake Hawes across to the blue line to Heidinger. She unloads, trying to shoot through a screen. Heidinger gets it back, but unable to find the net. She goes wide of it. This along the boards now, picked up by Cheyenne Scott Cook. Scott Cook trying to protect that puck along the boards against Pierre, but Pierre pins her up. Now it's Clausen who has Scott Cook pinned up. In for support, it's Heidinger down low. Hepner up top is the third forward. That shot from a sharp angle goes wide of the net, way into the corner. Picked off by the Selects team, getting applause from the benches. It's going to be a penalty to the Avros coming up here. 2 minutes for body contact. It's a great chance for this Eastman Selects squad to get back into this one on the scoreboard. Get this game tied here. As this period brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. As the Selects scoreless in their past 2 games, it's been 120 minutes and counting since their last goal. They can work it well on the power play. Want to see quicker decisions here, a lot less hesitation, maybe be a bit less predictable and change up the side you get that one-timer from. On the same side they've been going is Hepner. She's turned aside by Adriana Almeida. Number 35 continues to be so strong here in the postseason. So we look if we can bring up the statistics. As Almeida. So go to the highlights, sorry. We'll show you the stats afterwards as we continue on here with the play. As it's the Selects working it back to the point. Chloe Carey, that to Veda Rigaud, but hopped over 17 sticks. She got it down low as the Selects look to work this across to Heidinger. They do. Now up top to Carrier. To an open Veda Rigaud. That shot turned aside by Almeida. Number 35 making her second save of the game so far. The Selects control again. 1:16 remaining on the power play. That pass off an Avros stick, but recovered by Veda Rigaud. Now that shot through, rebound denied by this Avros team. Clearing it away. And all the way out now as they get this into the neutral zone. D to D. It goes to Veda Rigaud holding the line as Heidinger. She gets this on a drop pass now. Heidinger spins at the line. Fires to Scott Cook. What a move by 15. That backhand turned aside by Almeida as the Avros try to clear this out. Nice play by Beavis. Couldn't quite hold the line though. The Avros do end up getting this just out. Now physical play along the boards. No penalty going to be called though as it was Speechley who dumped that Select right outside the Winnipeg end. It's into the Eastman end now as it's Veda Rigaud. Stretches this cross ice to Isabella Carrier. Loses that puck, but it's into the possession of Delaney Rigaud as Rigaud into the corner. Cuts back over to Isabella. Cross ice now to Beavis. Back up top to Lexi Remillard, to Beavis. Up top to Lexi again. Now to Isabella, has her pocket picked by the captain, Evie West, who goes one-on-one with Lexi Remillard, makes her way past towards the net, that denied by the pad of Tomes. It's the short-handed chance not to be for the Avros captain. We're back to even strength. The Avros with some good momentum. That shot turned aside by Tomes. Going across her body with the glove save. 4-3 the shots for the Selects. Some good pressure on that power play, but nothing doing still. So we go back to the stats. Almeida, .965 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Tomes, .978 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. 3 of the top 3 goaltenders in the league this season playing in this series, and we've been treated to a defensive battle throughout this series. No team has scored more than 3 goals. The last 2 games, the victor has had 2, that being the Avros. As mentioned, 3 shutouts so far in 4 of these championship series games. That shot, off the post, it looked like that. Waved off by the referee, it looked like maybe went inside at first. As Pierre, that shot turned aside by Tomes, makes a bad save. It's Normando who plays that out of her end, but turned over as the pass off the mark. Now picked up by Blake Hawes, who tries to work her way up, but cut off by Pierre. The Avros recover it and dump it out. Pierre on this puck, sends it up the left side where Nolgren is, stopped up at the blue line. Pierre sends it in deep now. He goes off for a change. Lavalley and Nolgren will remain out for the time being. Nolgren goes off for a change. Lavalley Last one remaining out on this top line right now as the Avros work at D-to-D. Liberty Amy to Speechley is number 4, built up some speed but got cut off in the neutral ice. Heidinger now spins, fires this to Hepner onto 19's backhand. Scott Cook tries to get that attempt to pass it off to Hepner but unable to, or to Scott Cook from Hepner as I should say. As it's picked up by Hepner now, who has it back on her twig. Hepner trying to maneuver away from an Avro, but great defense along the wall by Cunningham. Penalty coming up. And who's it going to be to here? Number 3 in Cunningham. So it sends this select squad back onto the power play. Some okay chances during that first power play attempt for themselves. Looking for more dangerous chances this time around, though. As it's a 1-0 lead for the Winnipeg Avros. 12:32 remaining. Cunningham in the box. Shots 4-4 here. We'll see how many of these selects have and the Avros have after this sequence, as both these teams have been able to generate off of the penalty kill in this series as well. As this dumped down all the way by the Avros to start off. 15 seconds gone already as it's Vader Rigaud who headmans this up to Hepner. Hepner now trying to stave off the attack of Nolgren on the back pressure as this ends up into the back boards as West pins that up along the boards. Callie Remillard and Vader Rigaud both trying to dig this out as Rigaud gets this up. It's Hawes over to Vader Rigaud. That shot unable to get through. It's actually Hepner who follows up on that chance, not Delaney who's out there, as that kept in by Blake Hawes at the blue line. Vader Rigaud now across to Hepner. Is Hepner. That shot turned aside by Almeida. Rebound cleared away by the Avros. As all the way down it goes. As Tomes out to leave that for a defenseman and Hawes in her own end. As that transition pass up. Knocked off an Eastman stick. It's played cross ice to Scott Cook as she enters the zone successfully. Takes this down low and circles back. Up top, that pass drop back to Vader Rigaud. Kicks this out. D-to-D to Beavis, but can't hold the line. Couldn't cradle the pass as Beavis has to send this cross ice in the neutral ice instead. D-to-D off the boards to Vader Rigaud. Up to Isabella Carrier. Nice little draw pass up to Beavis as she makes her way, and Beavis cuts to the middle. Backhand denied by Almeida. The glove from number 35, flashing the leather there. 26 seconds remain on the Cunningham penalty. As you're watching MFHL Playoff Game Day here on G-Show Productions, on gshow.ca, on your home for MFHL Hockey. Thank you so much for tuning in if you are on this Saturday night. You know, the NHL and there's other sports on as well, but if you're here, thank you so much for joining us and tuning in. It's the visitors in the Winnipeg Avros right now who are looking to kill off their second straight penalty, up 1-0 as well. D-to-D to Beavis, cross ice, feed back door to number 13 and Carey, I believe. But that off the mark. Penalty coming up again to the Avros just as they had a girl come out of the box in Cunningham. Too many girls on the ice. A bench minor. Anyone can serve it from Winnipeg, I believe. As it's Denez who goes to the box. We keep Can Central Sports Cards and memorabilia on the screen as the Selects 0 for 2 so far on the girl advantage. That shot through, rebound! Oh, that hops over the stick of Delaney Rigaud. So close to getting an opportunity on net. Maybe one here as Rigaud goes high of the net. That time caught the feed from her sister, her twin sister, Vader Rigaud, who up top, she goes to Blake Hawes. Back down low to Delaney Rigaud as that shot wide of the net this time and unable to be held in as it rimmed around the boards to Veda. As Blake Hawes in her own end for the Selects. Plays this to Callie Remillard. Moves that across now to Delaney Rigaud. Rigaud shot. Might have caught a glove of Almeida, but goes off of the glass. Pierre through the neutral zone. Fires this on Tomes as number 34 makes the save. Vader Rigaud to Chloe Carrier. Carrier skating this in down the right side. 1:04 remaining on this Eastman girl advantage as it's in the corner, disrupted by the Avros. Is looking to get it free now. 2 Selects in that corner. 3 down low as it's held in at the point. Isabella Carrier passes this off to Lexi Remillard. Shot through a screen as that was actually Chloe Carrier who shot that. Rims around to Isabella Carrier as Isabella gets this back. Down low, Hepner, that shot turned aside by Almeida. It's number 35 with all the answers again so far. Over 130 minutes since she's given up her last goal. It's been a sensational performance from number 35. Has played her way into the playoff MVP conversation as the front runner, I'd say, as good as Rio Pierre has been. They've been solid in front of her, better as the series has gone along and taken away those high-danger chances from the Selects, but not for Almeida. I've said it all series long. This Avros team would not be in this position. They've stolen a lot of games in this postseason, but it's the Avros squad in front of her, too, right now. That's doing the job. 6 seconds away from killing their 3rd straight penalty kill, or power play of this period, as I should say, as we are back to even strength now. But the Selects hold it in the zone. This is down low. Evie West up for Lavely. That pass just off the mark in the end for Nolgren. She couldn't cradle that pass. Off the boards, the Select tries to go to herself down low, but it's cut off by the Avros right away as it's rimmed around to Lavely. Lavely backhands this across down low with 8 minutes remaining. To a defenseman, that off an Avro stick now. No icing on the play, is all the way back down into the Select zone. Normando fakes one way, goes the other, as there was some good pressure from Lavely. Along the boards now, Haggard pins up and Select. So Selects get this free cross ice. Dixon over to Schroeder. Schroeder tries to break through, trying to beat 3 Avros at that as she loses her balance. No penalty going to be called this time as the Avros get possession of it back. They work it back in their own end now. Behind the goal line, over to Cunningham as Cunningham tries to make her way past Delaney Rigaud, but a good stick from number 18. Nice hold at the line by Veda. She pokes this free, but picked off by the Avros. Is circling back. Zant passes across to Cunningham, who passes this up the middle to Robin Clausen. Sends this into the Select zone. In hard on the forecheck. Wozny takes out a Select, no call. That time a Select fan calling for one in the crowd. Not going to get their wish as the Avros send this right back down. Clausen, Robin that is, goes off for a change. Gets Speechley onto the ice. This picked up by a Select and Callie Remillard. Turned over, it's Amy now. That shot just wide of the net. Rebound Lively off of the backboards, but cut off by the Selects right away as Delaney Rigaud feeds us up to Callie Remillard. Remillard, that shot from distance, turned aside into the netting by Almeida. With 6:35 to go here, 8-5 in favor of the Selects. And shots, but not on the scoreboard. As 10 seconds in, it was Callie Lavely who opened up the score in her second goal in a second straight contest. Could it be the game winner tonight? Well, we got a lot more hockey left to have that question be answered. Just thank you so much for tuning into this one. If you are once again this season in the MFHL, played over 180 games now. This is game number 181 this season, with regular season and postseason combined, as Hepner now tries to poke this pass, trying to dangle to herself as number 19, but loses possession of that puck. Got it down low to Heidinger, tried to get it to the slot for Scott Cook, but she's met with a bunch of Avros who defended that well. Held in at the point by Haas. Backhand turned aside by the paddle. Almeida there. Looked like a harmless chance as exits the Avro zone. Now that puck as Scott Cook picks it up and sends this all the way in deep just before the blue line. The Avros possess this as it's West in the corner. Spins away from the traffic. She tries to play that out off the boards, but meets a bunch of bodies along the boards instead as West gets this back now, digging it out of the scrum. West takes it behind her own net. She's looking for options, goes just beyond the glass though and out of play into the netting. As we'll get a face-off draw right back in the Avro zone. To the glove hand side of Almeida. Caitlin Schroeder to take it for the Selects. I believe it's Pierre for the Avros. As Pierre tied up Schroeder on the draw. Good enough for Lavallee to get this out, but chase down first was Normando getting to that puck first. As the Selects send this into the corner opposite to where that puck was shot. It's held in at the point now. That across Dixon's shot. Oh, it's unable to get through cleanly. Good defense by this Avro squad as it's sent, I thought, out of play for a sec off the glass. Not out initially, but finally out into the neutral zone again for the Avros. It's Vader Rigaud who plays this right back up, though. It's kicked out to Schroeder now as down the right side goes number 3. Has that almost taken away, but stays strong on the puck. As this taken away off the boards by Delaney Rigaud now. Skates this down low. Tried to wrap that around, but met by an Avros defender in Shortridge. Good recovery by Rigaud, though, to force that turnover by an Avros defense on the forecheck. The Selects get this back to the point. Just held in by Chloe Carrier. Plays this off of the end boards. Way wide of the net as the Avros get it right back and send it out into the neutral zone. As Vader Rigaud gets this stretch of this cross ice to the blue line to Delaney. As Delaney Rigaud can't get that shot on net or anything down low as the Avros defended it well. As down low, Callie Remillard takes a spill into the boards. The Selects open for a penalty there, but not going to get their 4th of this game so far. That shot, oh, just tipped wide of the net there. A good chance for the Selects. So it was a low-quality shot from the point that time. It's in the corner. They continue to try to go to work, but it's the Avros who are able to get it out. Grenier right on it. She was covering for Vader Rigaud, who stepped up into the play. Now Grenier gets this back. Grenier walks in, fires into the pads of number 3 and Samantha Cunningham that time. It's pinned up along the boards. Down low was Delaney Rigaud. The Avros take that away, but able to get it right back off the boards are the Selects. That pass out of the reach for Heidinger would have been a grade A scoring chance, with 16 having a lot of room heading towards the net. That pass had connected, trying to go to the slaughter of the Selects, but the Avros cover that up well. Loose puck, Scott Cook trying to get it back. Now to the point, that shot just wide. Maybe just caught a piece of Almeida's pad. As number 35, 9 saves made so far. Lexi Remillard makes her way off for a change. Gets Blake Hawes out onto the ice as we're down to 2 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in this frame. Heidinger picks the Avros pocket to Hepner. Oh, denied as Almeida continues her larceny in this series. All the way to the finish so far in this first period at least. It's her 10th save recorded of this hockey game. Unbelievable stuff from number 35 on that play. Aggressive coming to the very top of her crease and cutting down that angle was a great chance set up by Sophia Heidinger. Good defensive play on the forecheck. Aggressive as Eastman has been so many times and fed a wide open Hepner, who's been snake bitten throughout this series. Lots of chances, but Almeida's had number 19's number. As 2:11 remaining, Blake Hawes off the boards gets this out now. It's off the stick of Schroeder all the way in. Evie West receives this pass, or this puck rather, from her goaltender Almeida. She stuck her stick out to settle that puck down. The Avros now try to get it out D into an outlet girl and Amy, but that didn't get out successfully. Now across to Dinez as that pass knocked down by the glove of Chloe Carrier and sent back in down low into the Avro zone. As D off the boards, Clausen receives that pass from West. Avros unable to quite get it out as of now. They do now. As Pierre that is, loses in her skates now. It's Grenier steps up. That shot turned aside by number 35 in Almeida. Minute 21 remaining, and gotta say, gonna scope this crowd out during the intermission, but probably the biggest crowd I've seen all season long calling games here in the province in all leagues that we broadcast in, which just is only 2. but this one, rightfully so, that is packed. A new MFHL champion, a champion from Manitoba at the U18 AAA level, and the female side of things will be crowned here. Will it be the Selects, who are down right now, that led the series 2-0? Or will it be the Winnipeg Avros, who continue to hold this lead, maybe even extend it to bring home their first championship in MFHL history and complete the 2-0 series comeback? So we're into the final minute of play here in this first period of action as it's into the neutral zone. Picked up by the Selects, trying to work it up ice, but cut off by the Avros right away. This down all the way for an icing. So we got a face-off draw coming up right inside the Avro zone. 12-5 the shots in favor of the Selects. So it'll be to the blocker and side of Almeida. Eastman's best face-off taker, in my opinion, and Scott Cook out there loses it this time as Nolgren does her job, tying up 15 well in the face-off circle. Line held by Beavis, though. She tries to send this down low, but a few Avros there to beat number 7 as she continues to battle. Somehow an Eastman Select gets loose along the boards. That play towards the net now, but cut off right away by the Avros as they look to just work this out off a Select stick. Now whacked out by the Avros, sent right back in by the Selects, but it was a delayed offside. They had to clear this all the way down, and icing with 0.9 seconds remaining will bring one last draw into the into the Avro zone. As the crowd starts to clear out here. And what's been a decent first period of action here in the final game, no matter what, this season in the MFHL. Winner take all game 5 in the championship series. So it's 1-0 for the Winnipeg Avros to start things off through these first 20 minutes. The goal, though, it came very early into these first 20 minutes. 10 seconds into the period, it's Callie Lavalley who strikes 2 goals now in her past 2 games combined. We'll have her full statistics as well as more coming up during this first intermission. The Eastman Selects with a lot of pressure, some good chances throughout this period, but it's been Almeida that continues to do the job. You know, thought I might have put the announcer's curse on her last game when I talked about how long it's been since she's given up a goal, but it didn't faze her. Now it's been about 7 periods since Almeida's given one up. We'll see if she can continue that. Coming up here on Game 5 of MFHL Championship Game Day on your home for MFHL Hockey on gshow Productions on gshow.ca. Brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for this first period of action. Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia service or store. Coming up next, the second period, but first, we'll send it to our promo screen, everybody. Stay tuned for more coming up next.
Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
And welcome back into the Niverville CRRC here in Niverville, Manitoba, as in this winner-take-all Game 5 to see who dons the MFHL crown to be MFHL champions. It's the Winnipeg Avros who lead after the first 20 minutes of action. Taking a look at the scoring in that period, it was Callie Lavalley, 10 seconds in, who would put home the goal. As for the Avros, it would be one of 5 shots that they had in that first period. 12 for the Selects, as Almeida remains perfect. Continues to be for the past 7 periods now without a goal. We'll see if she can keep it up during these next 20 minutes and really the next 40 minutes. But as for the goal scorer in Lavalley, she was assisted by Adeline Nolgren. Taking a look at how many points that is now for Nolgren and Lavalley in this postseason. It ends up being for Callie, is just trying to find them on the website right now, the statistics. For Lavalley, as we take a look, it's her 3rd goal of the postseason so far. As for Adeline Nolgren, it ends up being her 7th point of the postseason, her 4th assist. And for Lavalley, ends up being the 5th point for the rookie in this postseason, as she came up big time for her Avros in game number 4. And that's what's been so huge for the Avros, is their best players stepping up here so far in this series. And really, as these playoffs have gone along, of course, we know the case, what it is with Rio Pierre, as we take a look at her. 19 points in 13 games played in this postseason. Taking a look at the goals as well. She's got 12 so far in this postseason. 7 assists, as you can see. They're also tied for the lead. We'll be interested to see if she adds on to that tonight, as her captain also in there in Evie West. But it's also been the goaltending from the Avros, as mentioned, Adriana Almeida. 2 shutouts in back-to-back games now, as she's 7-4. Looking to make that 8 tonight for Tomes, looking to make it 6. As she's back in the lineup after dealing with a bit of an illness. And for Tomes, Almeida, as well as Labosse, these are 3 of the best goaltenders in the MFHL, all featured in this series. And we're seeing Almeida raise her game, taking it to another level. That first goal of the game by Lavalley, she just threw it off of Tomes' pad into the back of the net off a bad angle for number 34. An unfortunate bounce against her. Since then, she settled things down, hasn't faced that much action, but the Selects are going to need their goaltending to step up here, as, as good as they've been in this series and in this playoffs, been outplayed in the past 2 games, as Almeida has raised her level to a completely different place. As for the winner in this league, depending on what happens in the Saskatchewan League, is actually taking a look at the schedule right now. It's going to be winner going to Saskatoon, as the Stars ended up defeating the Battleford Stars in 3 games in the best-of-3 finals there. So winner of this matchup ends up meeting the Stars, the Saskatoon Stars, in the best-of-3 West Regionals in Saskatoon. But first, we got to take care of business here in Manitoba. There was a lot of power play opportunity for Eastman as well in that first period of action. As for the Selects, ended up having 3, but it was the Avros who got key saves, key blocks, and key clears in the most important moments for themselves, as Eastman worked it well along the perimeter to the point, had some okay chances, but overall still staked it in here. Dating back to, well, the start of Game 3 and all the way up until now, is they haven't scored a goal in quite some time. 140 minutes and counting here coming up since their last goal, when they ended up winning that Game 2 3-0. Had some magic from players in that game, notably Caitlin Schroeder scoring on the penalty shot, but those opportunities may not come here tonight for Eastman. Maybe that's what they need, though. They need something to go their way to be able to give them some sort of confidence in the offensive zone, as the frustration must be mounting. You got to think it is for the Avros. The game plan, continue to play the same way until you're forced to change here in this Game 5. Look, the recipe's working. Whatever they've cooked up in the defensive zone, and it's just been, of course, knowing your goaltender is probably going to make the save. If you limit the, opportunity of where the dangerous chances are coming from, as the Avros have been keeping a lot of stuff to the perimeter, a lot of stuff to the outside for Eastman, and when Eastman is able to break through and get to the front of the net or in the slot areas, it's been good defensive sticks from the Avros to recover, and good saves by Almeida. Even when rebounds have been left, the Avros have been getting quicker and quicker in the D zone and clearing them away, as we've seen as this series is played on. 13-6 actually, the shots updated now from that first period of action. We'll see what the next 20 brings here in the second period. It's brought to you by Terrico and Goaltenders. Could we be having another goaltending duel here tonight? Apologies, as the Eastman Selects looking to start off this period with a goal quickly, just as the Avros did in period number 1, as along the boards close to our camera angle here in the Avro zone, cleared out by Winnipeg as it's sent right back into the neutral zone by the Selects off of the boards. That's the West, as West sends this out for this Avro squad. Scooped up by Dixon, who gets it up to Hepner. Sorry, that was Lexi Remillard who got it to Hepner, as Remillard goes off for a quick change. Too many girls back on the ice. This time to the Eastman Selects this penalty comes. So it'll be the Avros who go to the girl advantage for the first time in this Game 5. Which for a Selects penalty kill, it'll be brought to you by Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. For Winnipeg, they ended up having power play success in that Game 4 victory. They found some power play success throughout this series. Last game, though, specifically, with that goal from Adeline Nolgren, who's out there with Callie Lavalley, as these two combined for points on the first goal tonight, combined for points on the first goal in game number 4, and look to maybe get on the score sheet here for what the Avros hope is a second goal on this power play early in this period. Not even a minute gone here in the second yet, as it's worked to Leah Kloss and to Evie West. That shot off the stick of Dixon. Nolgren almost finds it in the slot. That shot turned aside by Tomes from a sharp angle. The Selects get a hold of it and clear this all the way down into the Avros end, as Almeida out of her net to leave this for Evie West, as West hesitates for a sec before skating her way up in her own end, fires a pass onto the stick and right away of Nolgren. As it's turned over, Abby Dixon has Schroeder heading to the net. That shot turned aside by Almeida as Dixon decided to shoot it instead of passing it off. That shorthanded opportunity. Now the Avros coming back into the select zone on this power play with the girl advantage. A minute 03 remaining as it's worked down low. Lavely. Oh, spinorama pass dropped to Nolgren, denied by Tomes. Held it at the point. West has that blocked, huge by the captain. West gets it back. Rebound there, but cleared away by the Selects. All the way back down to the Avros end. What a feed there from Lavely to Nolgren. The chemistry from these two, it's been fun to watch as this postseason has progressed. Uh-oh, the Avros in trouble here, turned over. Delaney Rigaud couldn't stuff it past Almeida. As with 33 seconds remaining, talked about it earlier on in this game, how both teams have looked dangerous at points. Short-handed right there. A bit of a misstep from the Avros, losing that puck to Delaney Rigaud as she picks the pocket of an Avros defender, takes it to the net, just can't get the finish. But yeah, Lavely and Nolgren creating a dangerous chance moments before that. As this taken away by the Selects, cleared all the way down into the Avros end as Almeida contemplated leaving a stick out to stop that up for Dinez, but instead let number 15, and Turner carry it as we're back to even strength. As that shot turned aside by Tomes from long range. Off the backboards now, pinned up along the backboards was, I believe, Chloe Carey. Scott Cook in to help. As this gets rimmed down low. D to Chloe Carey, who's pinned up along the boards by Wozni. A few Avros and Selects fighting down low as they both get out of it now, and this puck gets played back down into the Winnipeg end. Cunningham first one on it. Great play though by Heidinger in front. Scott Cook unable to find it. The Selects still unlucky, still unable to get a break as Haggard sends this to Wozni. Had her stick caught up there by Normando. There's no penalty called on the play. Thought maybe we could have got something for holding. Just played back up to Heidinger. 16 continues to be impactful on the forecheck. As she has been all season long, really. As for Heidinger, when taking a look back at the goal scorers so far, she's in that top 5. As Delaney Rigaud and Isabella Carey also in there. As Heidinger off of the ice right now is Delaney Rigaud, the top goal scorer for the Selects, out there first on the forecheck, but the Avros able to clear this out past number 18. Now Beavis steps up in play, fires this pass through the stick of Delaney Rigaud, but she gets it right back as Rigaud protects this along the end boards, fires this up to the point to Lexi Remillard. That shot deflects wide in the net that time, trying to get through some traffic, but no success for the Selects. As Beavis off the board sends this in deep again as the Avros look to clear this out again, but good forecheck, good pressure from this defensive core of the Selects as Lexi Remillard steps up now, walks in on the backhand. Pass this is out to Beavis as she also activates up in the play. Lexi Remillard remains at the point and steps back in again. She looks to go off for a change. Both Remillards changing. Beavis as well as that shot just wide of the net in front. It's the Selects looking to pounce both Grenier and Delaney Rigaud in the vicinity. As Nolgren drops this back to Clausen, off the backboards now to Evie West, fires up the middle to Pierre, but has this pickpocketed. Schroeder now with the shot, turned aside by number 35 in Almeida. 14:52 remaining in this second period of action, which you've seen goaltenders on the screen so far. We're also brought to you by Terrico for the second period, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. What will these two teams be serving up with just under 5 minutes left until we get to the halfway point left in this hockey game? So we're almost halfway through this second period. The Avros up 1-0. The Selects have had more of the chances in this game, but still have yet to solve Almeida. She's had all the answers in these past 2 games and counting now for this Avros team. This work free up to Vader Rigaud in the neutral ice. Has Heidinger with her, drops it off to her as Shorter's defended. Vader, well, that shot low, rebound there, but out of the reach for Hepner as she pokes us into the corner after losing her balance and send that in while she was diving on the ice. Is that Normando unable to get it through? Number 15, Scott Cook tried to lay a reverse hit on number 15 for the Avros and Turner, but both went down in a heap. Number 19 and Wazzy banks this off the boards. Now it sends this all the way down. It'll be called for an icing. The Avros bench doesn't agree with this. Was a pretty close race there to the puck, but one where it's the Selects who ultimately come away with winning the race to the puck. Callie Remillard, Maya Grenier, and Delaney Rigaud out there for this Selects team. Remillard on the draw ends up winning it towards the boards, but the Avros strong on the defense, giving Eastman no room to work here for the time being. Loose puck to Delaney Rigaud. She can't squeeze her way past. Instead, loose puck gets to Grenier as it exits out of the Avro zone now as Winnipeg clears it. Off the boards, over the stick of number 12 in Hawes. Pickpocketed by Delaney Rigaud. Callie Remillard just holds the line as Rigaud down the right side tried to send it on net, but cut off. Picked off by an Avros player in Robin Clausen. Sydney Haggard got turned over. Lexi Remillard turned aside by number 35 and Adriana Almeida. Shortridge off of a skate of a Select turnover as Rigaud, Delaney that is, couldn't pull the trigger. In front off the stick of Lavalley. Gets cut off by Beavis as she skates this around her net now, looking to take off. Looked like she played this into the equipment of an Avro, but ends up getting out of the zone unscathed. Schroeder taken down along the boards. Will end up getting a penalty coming up here to the Avros. It'll be their 4th of the game. As for the Selects, bring Terrico back onto the screen. That'll be the sponsor for this upcoming power play. As for the Selects, in my opinion here, look, you already got the numbers advantage. Load up the house. Get shots from the point. And don't hesitate. If you are going to take a one-timer, look for one to getting it to Hepner, which she's been the one who takes most of the one-timers at that left face-off circle specifically. That's a play that the Selects love to go to. I know they probably won't switch up the sides as I've been calling for them to, but it's got to be quicker off of Hepner's stick if you end up going to her and she's got a wide open chance. Scott Cook looking to find some space down low, but defending her well all the way was Leah Clausen. Heidinger, look out, almost fans on this. Rolled off of the toe of her stick. Gets it back now to Hepner, who gets it up top. Hawes, her shot unable to get through as it's blocked up by the Avros. A stick save now by Almeida. Dangerous chance from the Selects there as Hepner up top to Hawes. To the right face-off circle. Oh, Vader Rigaud! That just tips wide off of a piece of equipment. Down low, Heidinger. Saucer pass to Vader Rigaud. That shot blocked. Penalty coming up here. It's going to be to the Selects as an Avro ends up falling again, and Clausen. It'll be Scott Cook in front, effectively ending Eastman's power play. Minute 03 of 4-on-4 time coming up here. So we leave Terrico on the screen. It's number 15 and Scott Cook The net front battle getting a bit too aggressive. Penalized here as we play some 4-on-4 hockey. It's number 9 in Rio Pierre. Ends up winning this draw, played into the corner by Shortridge. Picked up now, Beavis plays this across to Callie Remillard as Remillard gets this back to Beavis. Now kicked up by Delaney Rigaud to herself, drops this back for Beavis. Surveys to the net, low shot turned aside into the corner by Almeida. Pierre loses her stick along the boards, allows for Eastman to keep this in. Pierre tries to kick this out. Now Shortridge chips this out, pushes it out as she dangles to the middle, but ends up being too far for her to make a play right after the dangle was made. Is this Shortridge down low, cut off by Beavis as 15 seconds remains on the 4-on-4 before we get to an Avros power play off the skate of Turner. She holds that in over quickly. Shortridge, that shot wide of the net as Speechley was the one to feed number 18 as we're now on to an Avros power play at the point. West walks in, that shot turned aside by Combs. Number 34 sharp on that one as it's picked up by Rigaud. Delaney Rigaud trying to go 1-on-3 on a short-handed chance. Can't squeeze by the Avros defense as they shut her down well. All the way down, this pass misses, it'll be an icing. With 10:07 remaining in this second period of action. The house absolutely packed at the CRRC tonight in Niverville. Thanks for tuning in if you are. If you are outside of Manitoba, maybe you couldn't make it to the game and were planning to. Maybe your plan was to watch the stream all along. No matter what that plan was, we thank you for tuning in as Isabel Carrier almost dangerous with that chance, but stripped away with the puck right away by Lavalley as number 8 sends it to the net, turned aside by Tomes, and gets a cover up right away. A stoppage in play here. 14 seconds remains on the Scott Cook penalty. Just by the way, Brad Kirk in the house here tonight, president of the MFHL, will be awarding the gold and silver medals. Had a chance to talk to Ferdy Nelson, who confirmed with him about that stat, about the female coach, Ashley Van Aglen, could very well become the first MFHL female head coach to win a championship. But Ferdy's in Cancun right now on vacation, and apparently the first time in 17 years where he won't be here to give out the honorary medals. Not the honorary medals, but the medals that'll be earned, the gold and silver here. Still to be undecided who, though, will hoist what medal specifically. It's the Avros up, but lots of time remaining. Great defensive play in the slot there by the stick of number 10 and Chloe Carrier. It's Heidinger who carries it in. That shot turned aside into the end boards off the pad of Almeida. 21 shots now in this contest for the Selects. 13 for the Avros with 8:46 remaining. Picked off in the neutral zone by Blake Hawes. Walks in, that shot off of a stick of Zant and out of play as Carlin Zant. The good defensive play. Looks like she'll be going off for a change now along with Samantha Cunningham. It's the Avros. They really don't have, both teams are used to junior hockey, I guess. Haven't really taken a good look at the benches, but yeah, not that many players in the grand scheme of things. About 3 lines each, of course. Full sets of defense and 2 goaltenders. Sure, at points, maybe these teams would like to have a 4th line to roll. As this a misplay by Blake Halls as she's stripped away by Cunningham. Cunningham dangles through towards the net, backhand poked on net, turned aside by Tomes as Normando recovers it in the corner, battles away with Dinez, loses her balance. No call coming up here as the ref leaves the whistle in the pocket that time. This now blocked up Delaney Rigaud, looking to be a game changer here. It's a 1-on-2, tried to cut through Shortridge, but a good defensive play by number 18. Play should have been whistled dead there, went into the Eastman bench. The ref looked like they were going to call that dead, but decided to not call the play dead. That a late offside call by the linesman. It's a few seconds late. The Selects continue to battle here. Down 1-0 still, 7:41 remaining. The goaltenders have looked confident throughout this whole game, really. So we bring goaltenders onto the screen. This Tomes, a bit of a hiccup. A funny bounce went in off of her pad for the first goal of the game. The only goal of the game, 10 seconds in to this one in the first. As this along the boards now to the middle, cut off and off a stick. Now Isabella Carey tried to send that one out, but denied by the Avros, sent back in deep. And now into the neutral zone, through into the Avro zone. Cut off by Cunningham right away, who plays this right out of her end, but right back into the Avro zone. This puck goes. With 6:58 remaining in the frame now. Off of the end boards, D to D, it goes to Cunningham. Tried to hit Haggart with the pass, but instead picked off and sent in on net by Vader Rigaud, who was turned aside by Almeida. Good forecheck again by Heidinger to force a turnover towards the slot. Redirected just wide by Hepner there. So 19 was able to get a stick on it. Along the boards, her and Scott Cook pass to each other, but Hepner gets cut off, allows for the Avros to send this all the way out. And all the way into the neutral zone. This hops into the shin pad of Heidinger. Recovers it, though. That handcuffs Almeida a bit. Ends up recovering and covering things up. A stoppage in play here. Not much time has passed since the last announcement of time that's gone. 6:18 remaining. Another face-off draw inside the Avros end. 24 shots on goal now for this Eastman Select squad. As draw won successfully by the Avros, but Clausen has this pass picked off by Delaney Rigaud. Powers her way through Nolgren. Penalty coming up. Who to? It'll be to the Avros. 2 minutes for a hook. That was great effort by Delaney Rigaud. All Nolgren could do was hold her up a bit with a hook, specifically. So you know what? We will leave goaltenders on right now. For an Avros penalty kill, another power play for this Select squad. Looking to find some sort of lightning in the bottle here on this power play to get momentum rolling potentially in their side. Momentum that they haven't had in quite some time in this series. Getting desperate a bit maybe as that shot turned aside by Almeida off of that attempt from Chloe Carey. Up top, Vader Rigaud redirected by Callie Remillard just wide of the net. A different look there from Eastman this time. Creative look from Vader Rigaud as she walks in, backhands this wide of the net. It ends up to Delaney Rigaud now, who passes this across to her twin sister in Veda. That shot unloaded on rebound, just cleared away. Enough by Almeida. West with good defense out front as this cleared all the way down into the Select zone. First of this power penalty kill sequence, as I should say, for the Avros. As this stretched up to Hepner. Hepner cuts in, now passes off. It's Isabella Carey, spins away from the pressure of Shortridge, ends up catching her, pinning her up. Eastman players at that end glass, they're faithful, looking for a penalty to be called. The spectators, they almost witnessed what could have been a dangerous chance on net. That just missing the stick of Hepner. She went in for the tip, rebound there on that chance, turned aside by the Avros again, but not cleared out. Hawes redirects this to Carey. That shot blocked by West. Ends up towards the Avros crease. Turned aside by the Avros for the time being. Not cleared out again. Hawes over Carey. That shot flubbed on just wide of the net. Got a redirection from Heidinger. Eastman still controls. 9 seconds remain to Hepner. Left face-off circle. 3 seconds. Hepner shot scores! She's been firing and firing and firing away. That time finds a spot just under the roof, past the Avros goaltender. Is Hefner, circles back a bit, gets to the middle of the slot from that left face-off circle where she's been so many times throughout these playoffs this season and then this final series, as she's been snake-bitten all series long really by Almeida for most of it. Finally breaks through as we got a tie game. 3:56 remaining. It's the Selects' first goal in almost 8 periods. It was coming up on that. So I'm going to do the math during this intermission as that shot deflects high of the net. Goal brought to you by Terrico. Rigaud with an assist will have the full stats at the end of this period on that goal. As what a goal for the Selects team, which it was finally the break they needed, but not a good break for them here as they'll be going to the penalty kill. So it'll be the Avros who go back to the power play. Brought to you by Terrico, looking to retake the lead here. So they had it up until a few moments ago. Clear attempt by Eastman, unsuccessful as the Avros hold the line. It was Clausen with the clutch stick there at the Selects blue line as it's worked up top to short ridge. That shot didn't go off the side of the net. Sounded like it hit a clank. It made a clank sound as Lavely, that shot tipped on the way through to Tomes as the Selects still unable to clear this out. It's for this Avro squad after regroup now in the neutral ice. As for Shortridge, plays this off the boards to Pierre. Pierre makes her way in, cuts to the middle, play towards the net, and that tipped into the mesh. Way high of the net for a field goal this time by Zant. With 2:44 remaining now in the period, 1:19 in the Reese Beavis penalty. But in terms of penalties for this Select squad, it's their third of the night so far, as Normando and Scott Cook have been in the boxes before here tonight for the Selects. The Selects have had about 5 power play opportunities, though. 8 penalties called in this game as Pierre, what a move from number 9, walks in, that off the chest of number 34, and Tomes making the save, and oh my goodness, the sound system went a bit wacko there. Almost killed everyone's ears here at the CRRC. Shorthanded chances. Here we go again with the feedback from the penalty box. I know they've been having some technical difficulties here tonight, and not pleasant on the ears when that sound gets made as that shot from the point. Oh, catching Almeida a bit off guard was that shot from Normando. A Select taken out. That was Delaney Rigaud in the slot. No penalty called. It's the Selects faithful hoping for an interference call. This sent all the way down deep by the Avros. Illegal for no icing as it was sent in past the red line. Normando has her pocket picked by Amy now. Speechley along the boards protects. Up top, goes to Cunningham. Across to Zant. Off the boards, down low that goes. We're back to even strength as the Avros still control. Grenier onto the ice. Fresh out of the box, Beavis went off right for a change to get Grenier out. That wraparound pass attempt, not finding anyone for the Avros as we approach the final minute of play here in the second period. In about 6 seconds as the Selects take this away. It's Delaney Rigaud. That through the skates of Grenier all the way down into the Avro zone as the Selects couldn't connect on the pass. Under a minute left now officially in this period. 51 seconds and counting. That pass to Haggard. She spins and fires out of the zone. Will it be for an icing? No, cut off right away. Didn't even get close. As Isabel Carrier now scoops this up. Gets it off the boards to Caitlin Schroeder, who just sends this in deep. Gives chase, but Zant well ahead of it as she was way ahead of schedule, getting on that puck first. Under 30 seconds left now in this period. Long shot turned aside by Tomes. Should be the 31st shot she's faced here tonight. Oh, here's a chance for Isabella Carey. She whacked at that one. Turnover for the Avros. It's a bit sloppy in their own end here late with 11 seconds remaining. Vaderigo walks the line. That shot loses a handle on it. Gets it successfully to Schroeder. Number 3 catches up to it. Running out of time is in the corner. Backhands this below the goal line to a teammate, which it didn't get to her. As we go into the final 20 minutes of regulation in what could potentially be the final 20 minutes of the 2024-2025 MFHL season. If we do see this tie broken, it was the Avros who were up 1-0 for most of that second period, but late into it, it was Danielle Hepner who scored, I believe, as time was just expiring on the Eastman power play, which was their 5th of the game. Number 19 finally breaking through and getting that monkey off her back, as she's had so many chances on Almeida where Almeida's gotten the better of her, especially in these past 2 games. It's the Selects with 31 shots to the Avros 17. This past period of play was brought to you by Terrico, as well as goaltenders for Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Be sure to find out their be sure to check out their website and find out why at terrico.ca. Big brain fart there. Kind of funny, to be honest with you, but we're also brought to you by Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. Sure to check out their website for more details at gordytomlinsongoalies.ca. Coming up soon here, MFHL fans, before we know it, we're going to be crowning a new victor in this province, in this league at the U18 AAA female level. Be sure to cherish every moment with us coming up here. So this next period of action will be brought to you by Mick Fasteners and Tools. We're going to show you a few commercials we did for them during this intermission. We'll be back for the final period of regulation here in what could be the final period of action in this season as winter moves on to play the Saskatoon Stars. The trip on the West Regionals in Saskatoon on the line.
Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools in Brandon takes pride in selling the tools farmers and tradespeople rely on. Like our Winnipeg location, Brandon carries the same tools you know and love. From all the brands you can trust, all in one convenient place. And with unbeatable service, we'll make sure you get the right tools to get the job done. Make Canada Fasteners and Tools in Brandon, proud to serve Brandon's industrial needs since 2018. Stop on by today at 358 Park Avenue East. Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has been the place to shop for your industrial needs for over 20 years. Carrying the tools you need to get the job done from the brands you can trust, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has you covered. Brands like Milwaukee Tool, established in 1924 and on display in our Milwaukee Red Zone, the largest red zone in Winnipeg. With construction workers and tradespeople in mind, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools is your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. So come on down to our Winnipeg store location today, located on 1557 King Edward Street in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
And we're back for what could be the final period of the 2024-2025 MFHL season, live from the Niverville CRRC. And just to make a correction, not game 181, but game 180, going down to the very end here in game 5 of this best of 5 championship series. As for the Eastman Selects, they were down by a score of 1-0 heading into the most recent period of play in the second, as they kept shooting away and firing away. 18-12 were the shots in that second period, both teams with some really good chances, but it would be Danielle Hepner. 4:05 remaining in the period, or under 4 minutes I thought it was at, but 4:05 is what it says on the MFHL's website. It was Danielle Hepner who would put it in the back of the net to finally get that monkey off her back. Been snake bitten by Almeida for pretty much this whole series. Finds the back of the net as the power play just expired, assisted by Sophia Heidinger and Delaney Rigaud. As we take a look at the bracket, 2-2 between these two teams. Adriana Almeida, she had been running a shutout for 150 minutes plus. Almost got to 160 minutes without allowing a goal since her last one in game number 2. She's been a real difference maker in this series. For my money, if the Avros win it all tonight, she probably ends up winning playoff MVP. As for the Eastman Selects, well, there's a few players that could end up winning playoff MVP, in my opinion, as we take a look at the goals leaders. We see, Sophia Heidinger, Delaney Rigaud, Isabelle Carrier in there. Many great defensive players on this Selects team as well. And yeah, Heidinger also among the top point leaders as well. So, given how Heidinger's been playing and the energy she's been playing with specifically in this series, my call for playoff MVP for Eastman, if they bring home the championship, I could see it going to one of their goaltenders. You can make a very good argument that their goaltenders, one of them should get the MVP. Given that they've combined for 5 shutouts in the 8 wins. But the most impactful player, I think, in this game offensively has been Sophia Heidinger. The forecheck and the determination that she's played with, giving it her all in what is, well, for Sophia Heidinger and a few of the Eastman Selects senior players, their potential final 20 minutes in an Eastman Selects jersey ever in this program, as the Selects make their way onto the ice, led out by Addison Tomes, who makes her return into the lineup here tonight. After dealing with an illness in the past few games, that's what took her out of game 3. As for Eastman, 5 seniors on this year's squad. Abby Dixon, the captain, Sophia Heidinger, as mentioned, Danielle Hepner, Callie Remillard, and Lexi Remillard. As for the Winnipeg Avros, for their seniors, in what would be a special way to end off their MFHL careers by not only winning an MFHL champion, which would be the first in Avros history, in their program's history, but they do it coming back down 2-0. Do they have enough gas left in the tank to do so for the Avros? With 9 seniors on this team: Liberty, Amy, Samantha Cunningham, Sydney Haggard, Avery Shortridge, Ella Speechley, Madeline Sylvester, backup goaltender, Evie West, the captain, Celine Wozni, and Carlin Zant. They're going to be giving it their all this period. You know, the sisters around them on this Avro squad will be giving it their all around them for those that still have a year or two left to play in this league. As for Eastman, their players who aren't seniors are going to be doing the exact same thing, you'd have to think. Expect this period to be maybe the most intense period we've seen this season, MFHL fans. We're glad you're tuned in on our program here on our network on G-Show Productions, on gshow.ca, your home for MFHL Hockey. In a season which started back in October, ends here tonight on March 29th, on Saturday. But maybe we'd be seeing a sweep in this series, as the finals victor since 2018-19 heading into this year has swept their way to a championship victory in that final series. Well, to be honest with you, as a fan, as an announcer, and just a lover of the sport in general, I guess you could call that being a fan as well, I didn't want to see this one end in a sweep again. Wanted to see at least a win from the Avros. They've gotten 2 as they breathed new life into the series for themselves. Back in Game 3 with the win, which gave them a chance and gave them a reason to believe. For Eastman, the goal from Hepner gave them a reason to believe back in period number 2, as we're finally underway here for the third period of action in the Niverville CRRC. It's the top line for the Avros, looking to strike early here as Pierre denied by that pad of Addison Tomes on a quick shot. Mick Hand Fasteners and Tools, your third period sponsor. Be sure to visit their website at mickhandfasteners.shop. Store locations in Brandon and Winnipeg. They're your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. As this into the corner, almost to the point and out, but held in by the Selects. As Schroeder goes off for a change here early, gets Callie Remillard onto the ice, into the skates. Delaney Rigaud can't pull the trigger, and unable to fire that away. Have to watch my leg behind me here. Almost ended up kicking a fan. Just a little insight to us behind the screen here tonight, behind the production. It's crowded here in this arena, and rightfully so. As mentioned, this winner-take-all game number 5 from Niverville, Manitoba. As the winner goes on to play the Saskatchewan Stars, a winner from the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League. Will we get overtime? Also, in the comments, in the live stream, comment who you think scores the game winner, who you think takes home the championship. Would love to hear your thoughts. I mean, it feels good to have bragging rights if you get it right, right? Of course, we're just going to sit back, enjoy, and watch this one. No predictions from us at this point. As Callie Remillard holds the line. No, a delayed offside instead as Delaney Rigaud touches it up. We got another offside, another face-off, this time just outside the Avros zone, closest to their bench. As surprised in a way this didn't get sent all the way down to the Eastman end, given that spent a little too much time in the Avros end on that delay. With a delayed offside as this rimmed around in the Avro zone, trying to chip it up is Samantha Cunningham, but instead meeting the body of a Eastman Select as Eastman pins it up along the boards. Trying to dig it out is Veda Rigaud. It's over to Ella Speechley, that off the mark for Wazzy on the attempt to start the breakout towards the net. This rebound cleared away by the Avros, out of the outreach stick of number 17, Vader Rigaud, as she sends this right back into a teammate. That's Heidinger with it. Sends it towards the net. Scott Cook couldn't pull the trigger as she had that puck on her stick. Shortly after, was blocked by an Avro. Sent in right into the chest of Almeida. Turned aside. So only 17:23 remaining on the clock, or as I should say, only about 2 minutes and 33 seconds gone on the clock so far in this period as Pierre tries to chase this down, trying to win the race against Beavis. Ends up getting it anyways to Nolgren, unloads that shot wide of the net. Number 12 just missing. Is what a chance set up there from this top line. They don't need much to be dangerous. You give them just a little bit of space and they'll make you pay for it. The late offside allows for Eastman to get out off the skates. That goes off of Dixon all the way down deep into the Avro zone where Shortridge will be the first one on it. Gets this over to Nolgren, has this picked off along the boards by Schroeder as she cut it off. It's now out to Pierre as Pierre makes her way in, or no, instead loses the puck as it got caught up in maybe some sticky ice there. Isabel Carrier shot dangerous, it looked like, from some range, but Almeida turns it away with confidence into the backboards. As Adeline Nolgren, cross ice feed out off the stick of Lavely, turned over as it's Blake Hawes who sends this all the way in. Almeida was ready for it, already out of her crease to play that. As Lavely chips it off of the boards to herself, somehow gets that puck back, but loses it as it rolls off of her forehand. As number 8 goes off for a change. Haggart tried to get that over to Clausen instead. Pass intercepted by the Selects off the stick of Delaney Rigaud. Leah Clausen gives chase. Clausen, stick handling down low, kicks it up to herself as she looks to get on her horse to make it out. Instead, cut off. Loose puck there. Scott Cook picks it up. She shoots. That shot just turned aside by Almeida. Fighting her off with the glove. Just enough was number 35. Chloe Carey picks this off. Turned aside by Almeida. Rebound there. Is it in? Whacking away at it is Carey, but no. Somehow stays out for the Avros. The Selects with a swarm in the Avros crease. Can't quite put it away. So with 15:29 remaining, 36 shots on goal now for this Eastman Select side. The Avros, on their opportunities, have been dangerous so far in this period too. Been winning a lot of battles along the boards, getting the puck out, but the Selects send it right back in quickly into the Avros end. As that played Wozni out of the reach now for Speechley, giving chase Vader Rigaud as she beats out Amy and Speechley to the icing. As it'll be another face-off draw inside the Select zone, or inside the Avro zone, offensive zone draw for the Selects. Schroeder comes away empty-handed on that one, losing it. As Wozni carries it out for the Avros, cut off right away along the boards as the Selects got this towards the Avros end, but sent right back down to the Selects end. No ice in this time as it was past the red line, where it was sent in. Pierre fresh onto the ice now, cut off along the boards by Schroeder. Just sent out by the Selects as Isabella Carrier whacks this into the Avro zone. Shortridge picks it up, sends a pass to Pierre. Pierre able to cradle it now. Number 9, what a move towards the net. No penalty called. Or no, yes, there is a penalty called. It'll be the Avros going on to the girl advantage. It's their superstar in Rio Pierre who does the damage against the Selects. All Beavis could do. Pierre beat her cleanly on the dangle until Beavis gets a stick on Pierre. Pierre ends up losing her balance. For that, the penalty sends the Avros on to another power play here. It'll be their 4th of the game. Brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools. As it's worked out the point now to Pierre. Plays it to Nolgren. Oh, off the post, number 12. So close to giving the Avros the lead back. They had for most of the second period and heading into it. Pierre rubbed off of a Select, almost got past another, but instead has this taken away as it's cleared out. Evie West recovers, plays it to Lavely as Lavely has that sticked away by number 18, and Delaney Rigaud gets this all the way back down into the Avro zone as West spins away from the check-in of Callie Remillard. She'll take it herself as West unloads that shot, not a lot on it. Easy save made by Tomes. As now Pierre gets taken out. No call gonna be made on the play there, as the refs chalking that up as a battle in the corner, a legal one. Pierre, she unloads that off of Tomes' glove. She loses sight of it. That shot blistering off a number 9 stick. The Avros settle this down, get it back to the point. Held by West, saucer pass over to Leah Clausen, tries feeding across ice to Pierre, but picked off instead by Veda Rigaud. It's a 2-on-3 over to Delaney. Veda tries to go, but that pass misses. Delaney tries to fire that, but can't pull the trigger cleanly as Leah Clausen ends up getting the stick in the lane. A penalty coming up, yes, as the Eastman crowd was calling for it too. Eastman gets rewarded here with 26 seconds left in their penalty to Reese Beavis. It's Liberty Amy who took out Veda Rigaud, and she's going to pay for that one. With 12:50 remaining, 26 seconds of 4-on-4 time as the Avros win the draw, but it's taken away by Heidinger right away. Loses her stick. It was chopped out of her hands. No call there. Very well could have been. An icing, though, will be called as Heidinger out in a conversation with the ref about that. Result of that just continues to be so strong on the forecheck. Down low. So good with that stick, which ironically ends up being knocked out of her hands as she's back on the draw. Tie up against Speechley as the Avros possess this. Turner being hemmed in the corner there for a moment by Heidinger before getting it free over to Celine Wozni as we go to a Selects power play. Shortridge cut off right away as number 19 Hepner fresh onto the ice as Beavis changed for her out of the box. Could be seeing Beavis at some point during this power play sequence, but unsure if we will, as we're almost already at a minute gone in this Eastman Selects girl advantage with 11:59 remaining in this period. Legal entry as it was crossed over to Veda Rigaud, and now over to Hepner, looking for another one. Denied rebound in front. 3 Selects banging away at it. Hepner gets a stick on it now, recovers it, almost loses it in her skates. Passed off the boards, just kept in by Chloe Carrier to Veda Rigaud. That shot through traffic wide of the net as rimmed around. Nolgren sends this all the way down deep with 40 seconds remaining on the Eastman power play. Heidinger and Hepner change. Callie Remillard and Delaney Rigaud make their way out onto the ice. Hawes gonna be making her way into the ice shortly too as Delaney Rigaud turned aside by a key shoulder save there from Almeida. Pass unable to be held in by Hawes there at the line as Eastman forced to regroup. Cross ice feed, Veda Rigaud to Maya Grenier. All she can do is send this in deep as Cunningham cut her off. Well, 5 seconds remain on the Liberty Amy penalty. It's a huge kill here for this Winnipeg Avros squad, who get back to even. Amy right into the defensive zone. Eastman looks to keep up their pressure. Hawes at the line trying to keep this in, but a great defensive play by Speechley to just muscle this out. Gets it to Amy, fresh out of the box, turned aside by Tomes. Number 17, who opened the scoring in Liberty Amy in game number 4, ends up being denied there. Late in this game, 10:32 remaining in the third period of regulation,
as we're still tied at 1 apiece. Both teams had some good chances, more so for the Selects. So they've only allowed 4 shots during this period. Able to have 7 so far. Dished out, Remillard. Heidinger has that shot blocked up by Shortridge. As Shortridge recovers, gets this to Liberty Amy. Speechley ends up sending this to Wozni. Speechley just holds the line upon entry as Wozni carried that in. Now into the corner is Speechley and Wozni. 3 Selects there. Got to be sure to win this battle. You could be in trouble here potentially as the Avros electing to keep Shortridge in the neutral ice here. Maybe that's just her making that decision to defend what's coming next, which is this attack by the Eastman Selects. Hepner along the boards has that sticked away, but not out by Winnipeg Avro. Now that gets out. Good defensive play at the line by Dinez. Eastman gets this back to Hepner, sends this in off the glove of Turner. Pick in her pocket is Schroeder. Can't get that shot through as Clausen with a huge block. Turned over at the line. Vader-Rigaud can't send this in deep instead into the skates of Turner, I believe. Turned over. Eastman working it towards the net. That through the skates of Dixon. Rubbed out along the boards. Dixon gets this back. It's wide of the net. Side of the net, whacking away at that were the Selects, but unable to get much on it was Dixon. Now she heads towards the net. The captain looking to clutch up, but great defense from the Avros in front. A swarm of them all covering up the house area. That shot, oh, high off of the twig of Vader-Rigaud, who goes off for a change right away. A penalty coming up right away for the Select squad. Sends the Avros out to the power play. 8:48 remaining. As the old saying goes, we hope you have your popcorn out. And we hope you're enjoying this one, which with 8:48 remaining, we go to another power play. It'll be another one for this Avro squad, who's looking desperately to regain the lead here. Eastman desperate as well. Which one of these teams makes a mistake grave enough to cost them? Is no mistake there from Tomes on the save. Getting a blocker on it as it went all the way into the neutral ice and picked up by Delaney Rigaud's high shot. Controlled there and covered up by number 35 by Adriana Almeida. So just got an update with how many penalties have been called now in this game, as the Avros in their own end on this power play, looking to get out of it right away. These Selects with different ideas is behind the net. I believe that's Delaney Rigaud trying to pin that puck behind the net, but instead it's the Avros who get it out. Pierre contested right away, strong enough to feed that over to West, though, as West goes wide of the net off the backboards, bounces to Nolgren, who's cut off by Delaney Rigaud. Rigaud able to muscle this puck out as she'll go off for a change right away. Hops the bench. Fancy there from number 18 to exit off the ice. But so far, it's the 5th power play for this Avro squad in this game. As Wozni makes her way through, cuts in, tries to cut in again towards the net, but denied at the last moment there. Key defensive play by Vader-Rigaud as 47 seconds remain now on the Caitlin Schroeder penalty, which is 2 minutes for a trip. As Rio Pierre muscles her way in, spins away from the check, and now Pierre, she unloads that shot off a body wide of the net in front. Amy, as well as Chloe Carrier, going to battle. 25 seconds now left on the power play clock. Over to Rio Pierre, up top to Cunningham. Dishes over to Jenna Turner. That shot, turn aside, rebound there. Tome sticks out the pad, covers it up. What a save made there by number 34. Now the shot wasn't that dangerous on the rebound, but Tomes had to spread out into the butterfly, going full butterfly to make that save. With 15 seconds remaining on the Avros power play opportunity, the Selects with a solid kill here.
They gotta be hoping to bank off of this momentum that they've built up again with a good kill, but the Avros looking to have this momentum stay in their favor as they've worked up a solid cycle here. Behind the net, in front, Tomes makes the save, puck out of her sight to Wozdy. She turns and fires wide of the net. An absolute swarm here from the Avros, now tips out of net by Amy, turned aside. Where is it? It's caught up on the mesh. So we got a dead play, whistle blown, 6:26 remaining. Another face-off draw in the Eastman end. Shane Scott Cook, Rio Pierre. Pierre wins the draw against Cook to Zant. To Nolgren. Nice move by Nolgren. Towards the net, goes wide of it. I believe Tomes might have just caught a piece of it with that glove into the skate of Hepner. She's able to recover it. Good back pressure from Nolgren. Hepner able to skate away from it. Now pinned up in the corner by Shortridge. Heidinger in for support. Shortridge recovers this below the Avros goal line. Off the boards to Nolgren. To Pierre. Has Lavely. Kicks it out to the rookie in number 8. What a move by her. Passes this to Pierre. To Nolgren. Wide open chance. Tomes denies and covers it up. My goodness, MFHL fans. What a sequence we just saw unfold. The transition game from the Avros. Smooth as butter. It's a great saucer feed by Pierre to Lavely, but what a play by Lavely. Looks very much like a veteran out there. A peat for a few games last year, but still a rookie coming into this year. Looks like she's been playing in this league for years. What a play, getting that to Pierre. Fed it over to Nolgren, who didn't get enough on that shot. Not what she wanted as Tomes was able to make the save. Avros still pressuring over to West. That shot from the captain, unable to get through, blocked up. So it might have been friendly fire. Vader Rigaud is there too. Sends this up to Delaney Rigaud. What a play there by West. Caught all twig, all puck against Delaney Rigaud on that one-on-one chance. Now down low for the Eastman Selects. Looking to work this free. Callie Remillard off of a skate in front. Looking to fire this in. No, unable to get it through. Remillard with the chance. Callie can't get that through the traffic as West pinned up along the boards now. It's down below in the corner. Callie Remillard back on it. Backhand pass. Turned over. Nolgren to Pierre. Pierre can't dish this out. Off of an Eastman twig or a skate. It's onto the twig of Dixon. She winds up around the net. Dixon surveying options. Protects this up top. DeHaas over to Vader. Rigaud. What a move from number 17. Another move. Cuts to the outside. That shot just high of the net there from number 17. As this gets all the way out, giving chase on it is Dinez. Can't catch up to it past Vader Rigaud though. As this taken away by Veda, sent out off the boards, all the way out, back into the Eastman zone. Amy taken out, no penalty called. Picked off by Haas. Her pass denied out though, or rather that clear attempt high, as now finally is out into the skates of Heidinger, who sticks with this puck. Looking to make her way in, and she does, down the left side. Looking to slither away past, but cut off by the Avros along the boards. Good defensive play as Jenna Turner flips this out. Under 4 remaining in this contest now in regulation. Do we see overtime here tonight? Or do we see one of these teams end it? Spin around with pass, cross-ice fire just out of the reach of Shortridge as both her and Normando collide. Tangled up with each other as this flipped out. Icing going to be waved off right away as Cunningham, his first one on it in the Avros end. Tries to get this out off of the glass and did for a moment. The Avros have to regroup in their own end. Grenier fresh off the bench. Nolgren sidestepped her as Nolgren tries to send this up. Scott Cook. Grenier make it difficult as Grenier at the blue line has her stick knocked out of her hand. Good no call by the ref. Grenier had one hand on that stick, and at a time like this you don't call that penalty Is Grenier able to send this in deep? Goes off for a change. 2:30 remaining. This is flipped off the boards. Pierre looking to give chase on this, but Chloe Carey will be the first one to get to it. Sent all the way out, cut off by West in the neutral ice. Spins away from Dixon and dishes this off to Haggart. As Vader Rigaud off the boards, up to Schroeder. Schroeder loses that. Now Vader Rigaud pickpocketed as it's Rio Pierre. Going 1-on-3, gets taken out. Lavalley swoops in for support, continues down low, trying to get this back against Vader Rigaud. But Vader Rigaud denies her, shuts down that chance. As West can't hold the line, sends it across ice. First one to catch up to it, Leah Clausen. Sent into the skate of Grenier. She works her way in, trying to slither her way past. Lost that puck, now onto the stick of Sophia Heidinger. Towards the net, redirected. Isabella Carrier just wide of the net. Normando spun around, tried to get that on net, but access was denied. The Avros flip it out again. Sent right back in by this Eastman squad as they get a fresh line of forwards out. Number 4 and Speechley off the boards, unable to get out by Normando. That shot wide of the net into the opposite corner from where that point shot was taken. Wozni, nice move by number 19, has a wide open Amy, maybe if she can get it through to her, but that defensive stick clutch from the Selects into the final minute of play. Hepner down the right side towards the net, turned aside by the pad of Almeida at the point. Walking in, Lexi Remillard. Down low, number 14, Dangles, drops this back as it's to number 19 and Hepner. Almost lost a handle on the puck, but instead got it back to the point to Grenier. Hepner trying to fight through to get this. Instead, the Avros able to send it out. Maya Grenier turns, fires off the boards, all the way down this goes. As for the Avros, they still have their top line out. 19 seconds remaining. Lavalley backhanded towards the net, but out of the reach of her teammate in Pierre, who was heading towards that final destination, the net. Pierre, side of the net, trying to jam this in. Whistle blown right away with 6.5 remaining. .41-29 the shots in favor of the Selects. With what will probably be, unless something strange happens here, we get a quick whistle, will be the final draw of regulation. Speechley against Remillard. Speechley for the Avros, Remillard for the Selects. Won by Speechley. Pierre, her shot turned aside by Tomes. Rebound into the backboards. That means, MFHL fans, we're going to overtime to decide this one. Sudden death in the most fitting way possible to end things off here in Game 5 in a series that's gone the distance. What's one more period here? We played 60 minutes so far. We'll play another 20 coming up, I believe, at 5-on-5. As we'll be back shortly here. The call this is, we'll show you both teams getting situated and preparing for battle here one last time in overtime. Could we be seeing this one even go into a second overtime? Does it end early? In the first overtime, we'll have all the answers for you to those questions coming up next. This one is, well, it's going to end in dramatic fashion, fitting how it will. Can the Avros defy the odds and complete the 0-2 comeback where they were facing an 0-2 deficit? Will be the Eastman Selects who finish this thing off and survive choking a 2-0 lead in this series and claiming their second title ever. History on the line for the Avros. as they look for their first outright in program history as they were named co-champions back in 2019-2020. Looking for it all here tonight, as it's the Selects who have pressure early. D-to-D. Lexi Remillard hesitated because of Nolger in the pressure. It's Pierre levelly busting her way into the zone 2 as Pierre spins away in the corner, being challenged well by Beavis. Now the two collide as Beavis, a good stick battle there against Pierre, as Pierre tries to get this loose to Nolgren. Unable to, however. Instead, the Avros send this free into the corner in the Eastman zone. D-to-D this goes. Beavis played up to Heidinger in the neutral ice. As this overtime, only 10 minutes on it. I believe the next one will also have 10 minutes. And we'll just keep going and going because I'm sure there's no more games to play on this ice tonight. And this, the only one that really matters here in Niverville, Manitoba. As this over Schroeder angles to the net, tried to tuck it in. Trying to draw a penalty too, but did not. As I'd have to imagine the referees are going to be very cautious about how they call things here in the penalty category in this period. But if there is a clear penalty, expect it to be called, and as it should. The rule shouldn't just disappear now that we are in overtime. As this picked off by Vader Rigaud as Rigaud down the left side, blocked, loose puck there. Eastman trying to whack away at it, but it's taken away by the Avros. It's Shortridge, just angles out. Speechley with her. Speechley just holds the line. No! The ref calls it offside. Shortridge down on the ice. She gets right back up. So with 8:28 remaining on this overtime clock, it's the Winnipeg Avros who win the draw, send it into the Eastman zone. D-to-D, Normando up to Maya Grenier. Grenier down the left side. Her shot after a bit of hesitation, turned aside by Almeida. The Avros keeping the Selects to the outside here to start off this overtime. 42 shots against here tonight as Pierre sends that wide of the net off the backboards to Nolgren. Tries to send that towards the net as she spun and fired it away. As Delaney Rigaud tries to spin and fire that out, but instead contested by two Avros and Nolgren and Pierre. Pierre trying to search for that puck. It's on to Normando's stick. Just before the blue line, sends that on net. Almeida just going to get a breather for her team and get a stoppage in play here. 7:34 remaining. Eastman's, well, 4 of their 5 players were huddling there discussing on how they're going to play it off of this draw if they win it. Scott Cook, their most reliant face-off taker, ended up losing that initially, but taken away by Eastman as Scott Cook has it along the boards. Short little pass up. Lexi Remillard looked to unload that, but Hepner also looked like she wanted to shoot that. A bit of confusion from this Eastman squad. That shot from Walsey in the Eastman zone turned aside by Tomes. So we're coming up on 3 minutes played here in this overtime period so far. That pass off the mark for Scott Cook. Not hard enough to get down for an ice-in though, as we continue on here. Of course, this overtime period, 5-on-5, all of them will be. Scott Cook took that away, almost gets it right back in that pass towards the slot. As now Robin Clausen, a bit of interference with her, no calls all around as Heidinger skates her way in. Heidinger cuts in, that shot turned aside by Almeida. Number 16 continues to be dangerous here. Another face-off coming up inside the Avro zone. Caitlin Schroeder to take it this time for the Selects. I believe that's Rio Pierre out for the Avros. So that top line going to be getting a lot of ice time for the remainder of this game. Not like they haven't been already, right? This line has been crucial for the Avros' success, not only in the playoffs, but in this final series. One in particular, in number 8, in Callie Lavalley. Performance like she had in Game 4, and, well, the performance she's had tonight, if she's able to be involved. Overtime goal. It's where legends are born, potentially. A lot of players out here looking to leave their mark and potentially get that legend status. As 6 minutes left on the clock here, Delaney Rigaud circles around, fires to Blake Hawes. That shot towards the net, wide of it. Gets to Veda Rigaud. That shot blocked on the way through. So it ends up to Winnipeg Avro. Rio Pierre turns this over in the neutral ice. That off the skate of Callie Remillard. Turned over to the Avros and sent back in to the select zone as Blake Hawes. Up to Delaney Rigaud. That pass off a stick, but just gets to Maya Grenier as before the blue line, sent in on the Avros goal as Adriana Almeida covers it up again. And you gotta think, unless there's an absolute clear opportunity to play this puck to a teammate safely, these goaltenders are gonna hold on to everything. Also gets you more breathers and shows how much trust these goaltenders have in their centerman taking the face-off. That shot from Hawes, deflects into the backboards from long range. Scott Cook, along with an Avro, 3 Avros, 2 Selects in along the boards to try to get this free. It's scooped up by the Selects. Normando tried to send that in deep, but instead gets intercepted by Shortridge. Wozni now into the zone. Finds Beachley into her skates. Can't settle it down as Tomes denies the save right on the doorstep. The Avros looking for their first real pressure of this overtime. Tipped, but can't find the rebound as Amy tries to get free from Hawes in the net battle to Shortridge. That shot blocked on the way through. Huge there by Scott Cook. Loose puck picked up by Hepner. She looks to wheel, but instead sends this all the way down into the Avro zone in deep as the Avros get this out. Kelsey Dinez just before the blue line sends this in deep, over halfway gone in this first overtime period now. It's Isabella Carey up the boards to Caitlin Schroeder. Schroeder down the right side. Off the board she goes. It's number 3 sends this in deep. Dixon can't get to it first there as West was the first one on it in her own end. Schroeder sends that to the net. Swallowed up by West. She took it on her forehand and now takes this up ice. Looking to rush from 200 feet. West dangles through. What a move, West tonight! That's so close to ending it. And what would have been in spectacular fashion for the captain. My goodness. My gracious. 3:50 left on the clock. Somehow West is able to find her way past. She's arguably one of the best. Well, I wouldn't say arguably one of the best. She is one of the best puck carriers from the defensive position in the league. As a defenseman, her and Veda Rigaud, I'd make an argument they're top 2 in the MFHL this season. Of course, Avery Lazarenko, she also played her way into that conversation and was from the start of the season from Winnipeg ice. We've been blessed to see so much great talent here in the MFHL this season, and we're going to continue to see more of it until one of these 2 teams scores and ends it. Of course, stay tuned for the end of this game as we'll see the gold and silver medals handed out. Who gets which medals, that's yet to be decided. Maybe here as Veda Rigaud sidesteps, Nolgren walks in, that shot through, rebound there, jamming away at it, or the Selects, whistle blown. Almeida keeps it out. With 3:10 left on the clock, 46 shots for the Selects now, 33 for the Avros. Both teams have looked dangerous here in this overtime so far.
play slightly favoring the Selects as they've had more of the offensive zone time. It's plays like that for the Avros that are also giving them a chance. Scott Cook, that shot gloved off of Almeida's glove. She lost sight of it, but luckily for number 35, nothing unfortunate comes out of that. As Lavely runs into Pierre in the neutral ice just before the Eastman blue line. As Chloe Carrier saucered up. What hand-eye coordination there from Heidinger. Tries to dangle her away pass, but shut down by Leah Clausen as Clausen rushes this up now. Down the right side, tried to dangle in, but instead meets the skate of Normando. Meeting the skate of Zant there with Scott Cook on the clear out. And no, sorry, Amy that was who blocked that up. As Isabella Carrier sends that into neutral ice. Evie West sends that up the left boards. As Ella Speechley sends this in deep. 2 minutes remaining in OT. As this off the boards all the way into the Avro zone. It's played D to D. Leah Clausen turned over. Beavis in the neutral ice. Both teams collide. Eastman gets it back and in deep off of the stick of Dixon. Abby West down to defend below her goal line. Reese Beavis been activated into the play. It gets this to an open. Delaney Rigaud back up top to Beavis. Her shot, high shot, rises into Clausen as Robin blocked that one. It's Wozni. She can put on the moves. We'll see what she does here. Oh, stripped away by Beavis. A strong defensive play there from number 7 as Delaney Rigaud can't quite get that out. Great defensive play from the Avros on the forecheck. Great defensive play off the rush. Defending it. Beavis as this ends up into the Avros bench. With almost a minute left until we get into a second overtime. It's for for Callie Remillard. She's out to take the draw against Nolgren. Won by the Avros. Sent in to the select zone. Stretched up. Oh, what a feed. Twin sister to twin sister. The Rigauds connect as Rigaud taken out in the corner. Spun. The refs not calling anything. As we're down to 46 seconds remaining. To Pierre. Oh, nice offensive play by Veda Rigaud. Had her eyes set on number 9. Not going to let her beat her. As Lavely turns this over in the neutral ice. 32 seconds remain. Shortridge cuts her way through to Nolgren to Pierre. That shot glove down by Tomes. Stick to Shortridge. Quite a reaction there from number 18 as well after that. No comment from us up there about here about what just happened. It's not everything is what it seems, but 25.3 remaining. Speechley, Scott Cook on the draw. Scott Cook gets the better of her counterpart that time as this out gets past Cunningham. Heidinger down the right side, looks to make her way towards the net, instead defended well by West. Like a brick wall, the defender there. Heidinger, 8 seconds left, how's that taken away? Speechley, 5 seconds, tries to send this in, instead has her pocket picked by Hepner as we skate off into the second OT. Well, of course it would be scoreless as we're playing sudden death now. As Don't Stop Believin' by Journey plays on the speaker. As we're going to see both these teams go off for a little bit here. Get a bit of a breather as they do have to clean the ice at this point. We'll be back for, well, what looks like it's going to be 20 minutes of overtime coming up here in overtime 2. Just want to announce, too, that a moment ago, for the first time ever in our history, we had over 200 viewers watching at one time live. Thank you so much, MFHL fans and anyone else who's tuning into this one, for your support. It's meant the most like it has all season long. Makes it even more special tonight, given that we're in the final game of the season. When's this one going to end? It's 10-12. This game started at 8. I'm okay going all night if you are MFHL fans in this one. as we still await who the winner is going to be here in Niverville at the CRRC. We'll be back for more coming up soon here in Niverville, Manitoba. Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
Well, we've gone so late here as it's currently 10:22 p.m. on this Saturday night in this Game 5 that they've locked the front doors at the CRRC. A bit questionable, to be honest with you. I mean, why would you not account for this game going this late to leave the doors open? Who knows? But that's just to let you know how long we've been going in this one. We've been streaming for about 2.5 hours now. And yeah, as this one rolls into its second overtime period, we still remain with one question unanswered. Who will be the MFHL champion and punch their ticket to the West Regional Series this year in Saskatoon, as the Saskatoon Stars ended up beating the Battlefords Sharks in 3 games in the best-of-3 finals in the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League. One of these two teams, no matter who it is going to give that Saskatoon team everything they can handle as the road to the Esso Cup continues here. To let you know how we got to this point in overtime, as shots at this point 48-34 in favor of the Eastman Selects. As both these teams looking for a hero, well, for now, for Eastman, their hero being Daniel Hepner tonight, tying up the game in the second period. It says on the website 4:05 remaining in that frame, assisted by Sophia Heidinger and Delaney Rigo. That got the game within even, as the Avros had led since, well, 10 minutes into this hockey game, as it was Callie Lavallee who had scored to open up the score, and her second goal in her second straight game, as she scored a big one in game number 4 as well. Open up the score in 10 seconds in, assisted by Adeline Nolgren. The amount of penalties these teams have taken tonight: 6 for the Winnipeg Avros and 5 for the Eastman Selects. It could have been, some power plays during that overtime, but the refs elected to let these players play, as no penalties were called in the first 10 minutes of overtime action, as I believe it's going to be 20 minutes of overtime action coming up here between both of these two teams. And what better way to end this season, not only into overtime, but into double overtime. But yeah, I mean, the road to the finals for both of these teams. For Eastman, really, I mean, the Chiefs, they challenged them a bit, of course, in their games. They kept some of them close, but Eastman shut out Interlake in all 3 of their meetings against them in that first round. Had 5 shutouts combined heading into, well, that Game 3 matchup in this finals. And then the Avros shut them out 2 times in a row. For the Avros, well, they faced elimination now. This is their 5th elimination game of the postseason, as they were down 2-1 to the Winnipeg Ice, the then defending champions, winning it back-to-back years. They were up 2-1 on the Avros in the all-Winnipeg battle. And then the Avros got a big-time performance from Rio Pierre in that game with a natural hat trick in game number 4, and a big performance from Adriana Almeida to force a game 5, where they get a big performance again from Pierre and Almeida in the net to send them through. And for the Avros, well, they knew what it took to survive in elimination hockey. Heading in to this finals, dating all the way back to the semifinals, where, I mean, this team's response in game number 3 and game number 4 was spectacular. Do they have enough gas left in the tank to truly finish it, though. They were up 1-0 at one point in this game, as mentioned. It was the Selects who tied it up in the second period. It was a scoreless third and a scoreless first OT. Been over 30 minutes of game time since we've gotten our last goal, which was scored by Hepner, as the Avros make their way out onto the ice. For a team that's looking to bring home the first championship in their program's history. Been a long time trying to get it for Ashley Van Aglen and the teams that she's had the pleasure to coach. I'd say that many years the Avros, given the talent they've had, have underachieved. But no matter how tonight ends, win or lose, this team has to hold their heads high and be proud of what they've accomplished here. Same with the Eastman Selects, who of course headed into this matchup in danger of blowing a 2-0 lead. Something the Avros did last year in the quarterfinals, knowing what that feeling's like, being on the opposite side of it in terms of the team in the comeback mode. Winning 2 straight. As Addison Tomes and Adriana Almeida make their way to their respective creases, switching sides, as in this game, the amount of shots, 48-34 in favor of Eastman. 82 shots combined in this one. We're of course brought to you by Cannon Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store, as well as Terrico Goaltenders and Mid-Canton Fasteners and Tools. Thank you to those 4 sponsors for supporting us all season long and for being with us along the journey as we're underway here officially for the second overtime period. Shots during that first OT period, 7-5 in favor of Eastman. Avros outshot Eastman 12-10 in that third. As they have it in their own end here to start off. Making their way out now is Nolgren. Has that pass intercepted by Scott Cook. A misplay into her own teammate as Pierre tripped up. Rather, mostly just losing her balance there. Lost an edge. There's no call on the play. Scott Cook now looking to go one-on-one with Leah Clausen. Tried to chip it past her, but Clausen stands up to 15 well along the boards. That into the corner. Now held in at the point by Normando. Sent down low to Heidinger. Backhand pass. Scott Cook trying to find it. Rat scores! It's immortality for number 16 and Heidinger and the Eastman Selects. They're MFHL champions for a second time in their U18 program's history. As another banner will be hung here in Niverville, Manitoba. It's heartbreak for Adriana Almeida and this Winnipeg Avros side. Jubilation for this Eastman Select side as they finish off what was their best season in franchise history in the sweetest way possible. And what the moment means to this group of Eastman Selects players, all 18 of them, challenged probably the toughest they've been all season long in these playoffs in this final series, and came away with what is MFHL glory in the end. Almost blew a 2-0 final series lead. It could have gone down in the history books as a team that was thinking, well, what could have been? Well, what could have been for Eastman comes through as a championship, and for Ashley Van Aglen and this Winnipeg Avros program, losing a good chunk of senior talent, they'll have a lot of great returning players heading back onto this roster next year, highlighted by Rio Pierre and Adriana Almeida. And I mean, for these Avros players, talked about it before this OT started, but win or lose, you got to be proud of what you accomplished here, pushing this series to the brink when it seemed like this Eastman team was unbeatable, was unstoppable. The Avros showed that there could be some cracks in the Selects game. Relied on fantastic goaltending, were opportunistic, capitalized on their chances better than Eastman throughout game 3 and 4 to get here, but in the end, the best team in the MFHL comes home with a championship this season. Like the Winnipeg Ice, who finished first place back-to-back seasons before this. Congratulations to the Eastman Selects, who go down in MFHL history as champions here in 2024-2025. Brad Kirk with the medal announcement here. The medal ceremony, handing out the silver and gold medals.
This is an amazing series, and I want to thank both teams. Also, congratulations to the Avros. You played absolutely amazing. And congratulations to Eastman.
It's Adriana Almeida who takes home the playoff MVP, even in the losing effort. That's how great this goaltender was. Giving up 2 shots tonight on 49 shots against. And the chance that beats her, well, a chance that was just too good from Heidinger. Found some open space past Almeida, but a legendary performance, a legendary run from Almeida rewarded with the playoff MVP. I'm sure, though, wanted more, wanted that gold. Just more fuel and motivation for next year. As for Samantha Cunningham, of course, as mentioned, a senior for the Winnipeg Avros. Ends off her MFHL career with a loss, unfortunately. Same with Ella Speechley. Kelsey Dinez, though, has a chance to be back next year as she's a 2026 grad. Same with Callie Lavalley, who really made an impact this season. She's a 2027 grad player. Rio Pierre with the record-breaking year. You know she'll be motivated heading into next year. Sydney Haggard, a senior. Carlin Zant as well, a senior. But this player gonna get one more chance to see her in action for another season next year. Madeline Nolgren, fantastic part of that top line, a key piece of that top line all season long, which was the best in the MFHL for the Avros. And Jenna Turner takes her medal now. She'll be back next year. Such a key part of this D-Corps. Same with Leah Clausen, who so young and already so skilled. 2027 born grad. For Liberty Amy, unfortunately, the end for her with a loss. Been a treat to be able to watch her play, as well as Avery Shortridge, one of the best two-way D in this league. Celine Wozni as well. So much skill, so much great effort put on display by her. And of course for the captain and Evie West, almost finish it off with a highlight reel goal. Such a huge part of this Winnipeg Avros core throughout the past few years. The captain left her mark in this game, in this league. Backup goaltender. And Sylvester takes her medal, and now playoff MVP, and Adriana Almeida, who still has much left in the tank. 2026 grad year. She'll be back next year. We'll be hoping to get a bigger award, which is a team championship, and for Ashley Van Aglen, has to just be maybe one more year longer until she brings home a championship. Her squad will be a championship contender again next year. One of the best squads she's ever had. Highest scoring team in the league. Ashley Van Aglen has to be proud of how this group battled, as well as the rest of this assistant coaching staff. For Ashley Van Aglen, I mean, you know, many greats in sports will tell you that you got to go through a lot of losses sometimes before climbing to the top of the mountain. As for the Eastman Selects, they've climbed to the top of this mountain. Rookie goaltender Isabelle Labossiere takes her medal. Caitlin Schroeder as well. For an Eastman Selects team who sends their captain off in her final league game, her final game here on home ice in Niverville, with the gold medal, an MFHL Championship in her final game ever. Same for Callie Remillard. And Reese Beavis as well coming in. Not a senior, she'll have a chance to come back next year. Such a key part of this year's D-Corps. Isabelle Carrier, a chance to take a next step next year. Was so fantastic during these playoffs. Same with Maya Grenier. Big goals from number 9. Chloe Carrier, she'll have a chance to rejoin next year. She's a 2026 born defenseman, so solid on the back end. Same with Joel Normando, who's a 2027 grad. Blake Hawes, also 2027 grad. As for Kennedy Carey, also a 27 grad player. As for Lexi Remillard, her and her twin sister, her sister and Callie Remillard get to go off in the sunset as MFHL champions. Cheyenne Scott Cook, the second-year player of the past, so reliant on all ends of the ice. He's a big-time player for them in these playoffs. And for Sophia Heidinger, who you could argue was Eastman's best player throughout these playoffs, playing her final game on this ice surface as an Eastman Select. Vader Rigaud, same with Delaney Rigaud, as they both take their medals. Delaney approaching now, them being added, maybe one of the biggest differences in Eastman being as good as they were this year compared to years past, along with all the rest of the talent they brought in this year. Danielle Hepner with maybe the biggest goal of her career to tie up the game, to send it into overtime. So it ended up going to overtime after being scoreless in the third, and then Addison Tomes battled so much throughout the past, well, 4 years or so in her hockey life. Not sure if she was ever going to play goaltender again, had to reteach herself a position due to a medical procedure she ended up having, getting a tumor removed, and I mean, coming back in this series and fighting back and sticking with it in this game after giving up a soft goal. Just the perseverance from Addison Tomes and the rest of the Eastman Select squad. You can't say enough about it. As for Laird LeLuc and this coaching staff, Laird LeLuc told me before the season he came back specifically this season to see it through with this group, a team that really made a statement last year, making it to the semifinals. They took it a step further this year, not only finishing as a top-end seed again, but the top seed in the league for the first time in franchise history. Most wins in franchise history. And there were a few scares in there in these finals. 8-0 up until game number 3. Lost 2 in a row. And it took until double overtime tonight and being down 1-0 and tying it up for this team to raise their second banner in program history as they raise the trophy. Congratulations to your 2024-2025 MFHL champions in the Eastman Selects, as the MFHL trophy makes its way back to rural Manitoba, as the captain, Abby Dixon, the first one to hoist it. Who's she gonna pass it off to? This goes all the way. I'm not sure who. Just can't see who the number is. But everyone going to be touching it here. It was Sophia Heidinger who touched it second. But we have our Manitoba champion, MFHL fans. And what a season this has been. We're going to go with just our players of the game here. I've already been talking enough here at the end of this game. Then we're going to send you off. But the players of the game, starting off with the losing side. And the Winnipeg Avros, as brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. As we continue to see the Eastman Selects, well, posing for their championship picture now, which you'll be able to see that all over social media. But as for the Winnipeg Avros, their player of the game, Adriana Almeida, 47 saves made on 49 shots against. She was unbelievable in these playoffs. Gave her a chance, gave her team every opportunity to win, and every chance to win. And it ends up, well, being so good that even in a losing effort, comes away with the league playoff MVP. Congratulations to Adriana Almeida on what was a legacy run. Can't wait to see how she builds on that legacy next season. As for the Eastman Selects, well, in my opinion, their playoff MVP and player of the game tonight in Sophia Heidinger, who of course had an assist on the game-tying goal to Danielle Hepner. Finds that puck behind the net on the, well, what can be considered the golden goal, the championship-winning goal in overtime, unassisted, wrapping it around, catching Almeida off guard a bit. The reaction not quite quick enough to stop it. She was just a bit out of position. And for Heidinger, in her what could have been her final game as an Eastman Select, gets to play on now. The rest of her teammates against Saskatoon, against the Stars, coming up soon in Saskatoon for the West Regionals. But Heidinger left it all out on the ice tonight, was Eastman's best forechecker. I thought, turn momentum so many times in this game with just her forecheck and her chances and creating off of that, and we saw it come to fruition in the end with that championship winning goal, a moment that Sophia Heidinger and her family will never forget, and in a moment which will live on in Eastman Selects history and MFHL history as the goal that gave the Eastman Selects their second championship in U18 AAA program history. Congratulations to Sophia Heidinger and Adriana Almeida for fantastic playoff performances and for earning the final player of the games here on MFHL Championship game day. As for the Eastman Selects, they got another battle, another challenge on tap coming up soon in a few weeks' time against the Saskatoon Stars as the West Regional 2025 series is set Saskatoon from Saskatchewan, Eastman from Manitoba, facing off against each other in a best of 3 in the West Regionals to see who qualifies for this year's Esso Cup, which is the U18 AAA National Championships. As for Eastman, it was a special year, capped off in a special way. Fitting to see this go down to the wire the way it did, given how close these teams' matchups really were this season. Really one game that I guess you could say got out of hand on the scoreboard, but I wouldn't even really say that. So there's an empty netter added in, but a 3-0 victory for Eastman in game number 2, which put them on the brink of bringing home a championship. Ended up being 3rd time's the charm for Eastman, as they almost blew the 2-0 series lead they had, as the Avros almost defied all the odds against them and came back in this winner-take-all game. But unfortunately, well, I wouldn't say they ran out of gas, but to use the metaphor correctly, just didn't have enough gas left in the tank. We'll have to find out what's in store for the Avros next season. Eastman next year will try to defend their championship, but they continue to stay in the present. Their 5 seniors and the rest of their team move on to play on in the West Regionals in Saskatoon coming up soon, as the road to the Esso Cup continues. I've been your host and play-by-play commentator, Graham the G-Show Forsyth, for another season here of MFHL Hockey. Thank you so much for tuning in this year, MFHL fans, and for continuing to support your home for MFHL Hockey. We can't wait to be back next year. Until next year, everybody, we hope you have a wonderful off-season. Best of luck to the Eastman Selects in the West Regionals, pulling for them to win it all in that series and move on to the Esso Cup, where they'll be looking to make a name for themselves as well, as if they're able to get by. But first, Saskatoon on tap, as Manitoba's U18 AAA winner looks to break the curse, as Saskatchewan has had their number the past, well, number of years at that event, since after COVID at least. Will Eastman be the ones to finally knock off a Saskatchewan winner come the start of the West Regional Series and throughout it? Well, find out and continue to follow along here, as we'll have all the updates on our podcast and on our social media pages here on G-Show Productions and on gshow.ca. But until next season, MFHL fans, I've been your host and play-by-play commentator, Graham the G-Show Forsyth, officially signing off for another MFHL season here from Niverville, Manitoba. Immortality for Sophia Heidinger and the rest of her Eastman Select squad, as she scores the championship-winning goal in her final game ever in Niverville in an Eastman Selects jersey. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for your support.